Welcome to T-Boys TV. Obviously, we're back again with another Hatter Show. Obviously, episode 101. And obviously, it's our final league game. Obviously, we have got the playoffs to hopefully look forward to. As it currently stands, obviously, a lot of us are obviously back-to-back seasons. Obviously, a higher finish this time round. Obviously, we'll be getting into... Oh, camera's having a little bit of one of them again. We'll be getting into the Blackburn game, just recapping that, obviously player ratings, and then hopefully we will have Lewis on for the whole City preview. But like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Pretty good. You?
It's good. Looking forward to the playoffs upcoming. I'm sure you are. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, obviously, we took on Blackburn, obviously, on Monday. Our second out of 3 upcoming Monday games. We know, obviously, after tomorrow, the next game will not be a Monday. It will be a Saturday, 5:30. Obviously, the first leg, we'll find out who we get tomorrow. But, yeah, obviously, we took on Blackburn. Both going into it, just because how we are, going into that 12 games unbeaten, we were just confident, that we weren't going to lose again. I said a 1-0. I did have a slight feeling it could be 1-1. Just given, they needed to realistically not lose sort of thing. Ideally needed to win, but obviously they're, playing us are on very good form. Your score prediction, what did you go with? 2-2, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah, 2-2. And shout out to Jacob, who obviously come on. He did actually get his score prediction right. He did say 1-1, so fair play to him for that. But yeah, obviously the lineup was obviously Ethan in goal, Bell, Bradley and Lockyer, so you would say expected back 3 and goalkeeper, especially if obviously Osho and is it Burke, not quite back yet. Could be for tomorrow, but we'll get into that. Doherty left wing back, Dre May on the right, again, probably expected. It was for me anyway. Midfield, now that was interesting for me. We had Nakamba, Clark and Berry. And then obviously up front was, what you'd have expected in Adebayo and Morris. Now, yeah, I'll go on to the bench and then I'll say my thoughts on the lineup. So the bench was Campbell, Freeman, Fred. Good to see Fred back because I'm pretty sure he ain't been on the bench a few games previously before that. And then obviously Potts, again, good to see him back for another option as well. And then Ruddock, Shea and Taylor. So yeah, the midfield was interesting for me. Obviously, we guaranteed third because obviously before that, obviously Middlesbrough did lose to Rotherham, which a lot of us would have been surprised about. Fair play to Rotherham as well. Obviously, they are staying up. But yeah, it was obviously we guaranteed third. So Rob Edwards probably looked at it. Obviously, a lot of players, will be vital in this playoffs as well. So it's good to, get as many players getting minutes under their belt. Like the likes of Berry and Clark's obviously coming back into the swing of things. And it was interesting, the midfield, because it wasn't usually how it's like 2 more behind and then 1 attacking. It seemed to be Nakamba as the defensive one and then obviously Berry and Clark on the left and right, which is interesting. I did like the look of that, to be honest. So, again, obviously we've guaranteed third. So when I looked at the lineup, I wasn't really too phased. And like I said, it's good to see, Berry starting to get minutes because everyone's going to be playing a part in these upcoming playoff games. So I was happy with the lineup. Your thoughts on it, Dad?
Yeah, same. Like, it was interesting to see Berry. I was a little bit not surprised, but that's different. But it's good. Obviously, after his last performance, maybe he kind of deserved to start. It was good to see Potts back on the bench. Fred. And yeah, like you say, the way the midfield was positioned slightly differently. That's quite interesting as well. So, and to have them players back is a bonus. So.
Yeah, no, 100%. Especially going into the games, we've got coming up, of course, obviously massive as we know. But yeah, I'll get into some comments. Big up to everyone inside. Big up Chris, obviously follows Liverpool as well as Carlisle. He says big up, top 4 back on. Thanks to Arsenal. What a win for them. I'll be real. I only watched the first half. I do think Newcastle should have got a penalty at the start of the game. I'm not going to lie, but it is a very good win because St James's Park, going into that, I thought the best they were going to get is a draw. So it's all interesting. They just need to, obviously win their games and hope City slip up again. It's one of them, really, isn't it? But yeah, big up, Ty says Stephen. Big up to yourself, mate. Yeah, I know, right? I'm thinking the same. How quick the season's gone as well, mate. To be honest, I didn't even realise League One final games were today. I thought they were tomorrow as well, but obviously they were today. So it's mad. And he obviously says big up to you as well. Big up to Lewis. Like I said, he will hopefully be on later. It's obviously up the Tigers. He's got to get that in. Blackburn will beat Millwall. Come on, you Hatters. It'll be interesting. That's for sure. Obviously, I've done my championship predictions. Make sure you do check them out if you haven't already. Stephen said his thoughts. I'll start that and then we'll get into it when we do that. So, yeah, that is that. But, yeah, obviously the first half, it was an interesting one. Obviously, no goals in the first half. They had a good chance, just wide. Tommy Bradley was a little bit, all over the place in certain senses. There was one point, though, where the ball was played to him, where I don't think it should have been, because he did have two players on him. But first half, I can't really remember too much attacking-wise, I don't think, from us. We were on the ball a lot, and doing what we do. But, yeah, all I can really remember in that first half is them having that big chance and Bradley having a little bit of, a sticky time at the back. So, yeah, it's not really much I can remember. Anything you remember from the first half, Dad?
No, just roughly the same. And they were, all over us, but they had to be. What's quite interesting is the fact that, yeah, we weren't at our best, but we've still, stopped them scoring in the first half without really going into third gear and things like that. So that's how far we've come. For someone who has to win, or really to get playoffs and stuff, and they just couldn't sort of deal with it, and it was their own ground as well. So yeah, we but with the Bradley situation, he's still coming back. He's probably maybe he's feeling the pressure a little bit as well. So it wasn't terrible, but you worry if he has to start in the playoffs. For me, because I just don't think he's up to speed. You know what I mean? He's always capable of pulling something off though, but we don't want it like two mistakes and then you score. Just score. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, as expected really. Plus the players were obviously, they're not going to be going for they're just going to control the game if they need to control the game, kind of thing. They're not going to, and you'll see more of that tomorrow as well. So,
Yeah,
it weren't a terrible first half.
No, it wasn't terrible. And also, what you've got to take into consideration is, because of Middlesbrough losing earlier on in that day, we've guaranteed third, so it's one of them where we haven't got to go all out in a sense. It's not like second still on the line sort of thing, so it's one of them. As long as the rhythm's there, and we're still playing decent, because you don't want to, falter off going into these playoff games. That's the thing. So that's how I see it, really. But yeah, going into the second half, obviously we did come out really well in the second half. I'd say it's similar the way we come out in that second half at the start compared to Middlesbrough, similar to Middlesbrough, sorry. In the fact, we scored. Funny enough, it was Lockyer as well. Again, 2 out of 2 for him. Just, good header, really. Obviously, it was always going to be him or Bradley that was going to get onto it. Obviously, Lockyer did in the end. Obviously, Drame, I would say, started it off, by when the ball come back out. He's played it to Morris. Morris done very well, to obviously be on the ball, then get the cross into the box. Great header by Lockyer. And fair play to him. Fair play to him. Obviously, we know we got in team of the season. fully deserved. I would say if there was any player for us that deserved to get in it, it was probably him. You know, you more so would be him or Morris. But then again, obviously Akpon's been up there with the goals he's got, so you'd more so go with him. But Lockyer, mate, has been brilliant, as we know, and fair play to him. You know, what did you make of the goal, Dad?
Yeah, again, I was quite, it's quite interesting to see that Lockie's, banging in goals as well now. Like, he's just peaking right, when we need him to be. And yeah, great hold up play from Morris. He's looking better and better every game as well. Like, with touches like that, you could provide as well, and you're not selfish, mate. That's wicked. And yeah, we come out, just went at them basically, and see. He probably said just go at them, see what they respond like, and see what happens. But yeah, it's good. It's a good goal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then obviously we made some changes. Changed it up a little bit. Obviously Clark come off for Ruddock, and then obviously Fred come on for Doherty at the same time. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier, especially if Fred getting the minutes under your belt. Obviously he's come back. So it's good, and we're going to need this. As we know, because a lot more players, are going to be playing parts. In these games, you just tell. You know what I mean? It's just one of them, and it's a team game at the end of the day as well, isn't it? So it's one of them. Obviously, it made some more changes as well. Take Nakamba off, take Morris off, give them a rest. Freeman on, Campbell on. And then obviously the last sub, obviously you did make 5, as many as you can, mate. Obviously Potts come on. Good to see him come on. He come on in that left centre-back role, I believe. And then Bell went to left wing-back. It looked like Freeman went up front. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, when he's come on recently, he's been in all sorts of positions. He's been left wing-back. He's been right wing-back. I think he was a cam at one point, which is obviously his main position. And then obviously he was up front. Obviously it made them changes. Not Middlesbrough, sorry. Blackburn did start to pile up pressure towards the end of the game. Obviously, like I said, they needed to not lose ideally. Obviously, a win would have been better, and it'd have been, more suited for them to potentially, still playoffs. But it's looking a little bit slimmer with this draw. But it's not, it's not the end of the world. They can still get it, but they have to beat Millwall and, hope, well, actually, I say hope on other results, not necessarily because they're on the same points as the others. I don't think the goal difference is drastic either. So it's one of them. Did get the equaliser. Thomas always gets an assist against us, I swear. Obviously, come on. Obviously, we know in the playoff second leg, obviously, he got the assist there. And obviously, he got an assist here. It was good. It was a good header. I do feel we could have done better defensively. Your thoughts on that goal they got, Dad?
Yeah, possibly it was a good header. They were more hungry for it, and I think that's part of the reason why we didn't defend it well, because we were on top, and we took obviously take a foot off the gas a little bit. Bradley was kind of just standing there, which was a bit annoying. But it is what it is. They deserved it, and then we was proper under the cosh, so we sort of dealt with that, and it is what it is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. Sorry, it was echoing, so I wasn't sure if you said something. And then obviously, they nearly scored again. Schmodix, obviously a player I said we need to watch out for. After seeing him in the game against Preston, I could just tell he was going to be a bit of a threat. Obviously, a lot of people would say, "Oh, what about Diaz?" If you're a Blackburn fan, like Jacob said, he hasn't really been the same, has he, for a while since that Villarreal conversation sort of thing. And yeah, he was very unlucky not to score. Obviously, that was a great shot. Very unlucky, like I said, off the bar. So we could have lost that in the end. But overall, I'll take the draw. Obviously, like I said, third's guaranteed. We can't finish lower or higher. And it's just one of them where I was happy we got out there with the draw because, like I said, obviously the pressure they did put on at the end, Also, the fact we're still unbeaten. It's 13 games now. Obviously, the loss was to Burnley as well, which is no shame in. And we were unlucky to even lose that game. Let's be serious now. Like I've said numerous amount of times. So overall, I'll take it because, like I said as well, another thing that I did say on the watch along, they needed to not lose. So it's always going to be difficult going there. Especially if what was on the line for them. So overall, I'll take it. Your final, if we get into the player ratings on it, Dad?
Yeah, exactly the same, really. I predicted a draw as well. So we knew that's the kind of situation. We knew that we're not going to go gung ho. We knew that we're just going to. You can just tell how we're going to be to a certain extent, and we just sort of like thinking more ahead now. I mean, the amount of time we've had to sort of even in the background, they've been planning the playoff semi-finals for ages now. We've got that advantage. Do you know what I mean? And from last season, there's loads of little advantages that we have got, which is probably going to serve as well. So it's just one of them. Just to manage it. Still, not even in third, fourth gear really, and still got a result. So it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Let's go through some comments to do this. Stephen's comment earlier that I started. Let me just go on to that. Why is it not right? There we go. I thought it was quite open as Rovers needed the win, but it turned out to be quite tight from us especially. Yeah, no, exactly, mate, exactly. Another comment on half. Where it is. He says, there we go. Second half, we looked more on it and better flow and got the goal, but then reserved and the pressure on us. They deserved the equaliser. Yeah, I was saying that on the watch along, to be honest. And you felt it was going to come as well, to be honest, based on that pressure. They were piling up. But that shot, Smodics, thank the Lord, it's supposed. Yeah, honestly, mate, it was mental, wasn't it? After in. So yeah, there's that. Exactly. Like we've said, and keep unbeaten. Like you say there. Chris says, I don't want to jinx you lot, but I said Luton was after January. You have experience from last season. You're going to be hard to beat, and I hope you do it as well. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I said it at the start of the season, so I stand by it. I did say fourth, so I was very close. If we could finish higher than my prediction, I'm not complaining. But yeah, exactly, mate. It goes back to you saying difficult there. With 13 games unbeaten, and the loss was to Burnley. And yeah, obviously, a lot of people hope we do it. Even if they don't think they're just saying it. A lot of people do because it's a different team in the Premier League as well, isn't it? You don't want the same thing sometimes. You don't want it being repetitive in that sense. So hopefully, man. Any comments you want to say on this, Dad?
Yeah, he's right. We said it before, the experience. And I just think we are going to be hard to beat. We've got the best defensive record going into the playoffs. So our home form has picked up massively as well. We're not phased away. Like I don't want to jinx it either, but at the moment I feel like it's ours to lose. So let's see.
I'd agree. No, I'd agree with that. Chris says, I thought Millwall were on 69 points for some reason. All teams chasing playoffs, got tough games tomorrow. I know. And it's mad because some teams, it's similar to us in the sense for a lot of these teams like West Brom and Sunderland, where they need to hope, they need to win, but they need to hope, Coventry and that slip up, Coventry, Millwall. It's all interesting, man. I'm glad we're not in that position again. Even though in the end it didn't matter because we won our game and Middlesbrough didn't. They were the main ones near us last season. So So yeah, exactly, Stephen. That's what I'm saying. You know, that Burnley result. I remember we watched it together.
And we
And
played
obviously
really well in that game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
We shouldn't have even lost that game either. It's a penalty, wasn't it?
exactly. Yeah, and I remember Burnley fans, right, that I spoke to then. They were saying that was one of their toughest games of the season, if not their toughest game. You know, and they won the game. So it tells you a lot about how far we've come as well. Considering, you know, I know they had a bit of a shaky ending to the season, but they already won the league. Well, basically won the league. Obviously, they got promotion and all that. So it was one of them. You know, you look at it as well. Obviously, we drew at their ground as well, played very well, made a good account of ourselves there as well. And I'll put it out there. I think they'll do all right in the Prem next season. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they, you know, I know it might sound mad, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the top 12. Honestly.
And to be fair to him, he's gave us a lot of respect, even in the game against Burnley away. That was early on in the season, and he said Luton know what they're doing. They're a playoff team, and that was when Nathan Jones was in charge as well. Do you know what I mean? And from then, especially under Rob Edwards, we don't know what would have happened under Nathan Jones. Do you know what I mean? Probably would have been in the playoffs still, but I just feel like with Rob Edwards and his team have come in and tweaked certain things and just made certain things better. Do you know what I mean? You know, I don't know what I want to find out what how long we is unbeaten for in the championship under Nathan Jones, because I don't think it's nowhere near like 13 games.
No,
Nowhere
I don't
near.
think so.
So obviously they've come in and improved things, you know, and it's worked perfectly, and it's riding, you know, it's the right speed, mate. It's going, it's happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the second game, even he said similar things, you know. I want to see them in the Premier League because, you know, fans coming here, players coming here, it's going to affect him. I want to see it. He wants to see it. He's a proper football guy. Do you know what I mean? Even when he was playing as a defender, he was always professional, wasn't he? He was always switched on. Do you know what I mean? He's got that extra thing, and fair play for him for signing the contract as well today. I think.
Oh, really?
Burnley, yeah. So that's good. You know, he's doing things. You know, and he's showing, and I think he will do all right.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. Stephen also says I was there, and yeah, we were walking back, and they said, yeah, they said you should make playoffs if you play like that, exactly, and we have. So, yeah, like I say, even the Burnley fans I spoke to, you know, they were saying that was like their toughest game of the season, and they won it. So it tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. Yeah, there was a bit of controversy in that game as well. I remember it. So it's one of them. Oh, mate, it'd be limbs, wouldn't it? It would be limbs, as they say. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. Obviously, we'll start off with Ethan in goal, of course. Goal couldn't do anything. Pretty sure, was this a game where he made a really good save? Or he made a decent save? I can't quite remember. His distribution was a bit shaky.
Yeah,
I know that. At times it has been though this season. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I'm not a heavy criticizer of Ethan. I actually I like him as a goalkeeper, but he does have his moments, especially with distribution this season. But this game was probably a standout when it comes to it. Not the greatest of what we've seen from him, but I wouldn't say it was, you know, terrible. But I'm going to go with a little bit of a low rating. I'm going to go with 6.5.
I'm going to give him a 7. I'll see what you say. There was a lot of kickouts which were poor, you know, distribution, as you say. But other than that, he didn't have too much to do, but it was just a bit off from him. But I'll still give him a 7.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Lockyer, goal scorer. You know, good header, 2 out of 2 for him. Fair play. Obviously, deserved to get into the team of the season. And obviously, he scored 3 goals for us this season, 2 of them. in the last 2 games. So yeah, as for my rating for Lockyer, 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6.5. 6. I don't think he was bad defensively either. I'm going to go... What am I going to go with for Lockyer? I'll go with 8.
I'm going to put, he's my man of the match. So I'm going to give him like 8.5. You know, again, to score, hungry for it, you know, even getting ahead of Bradley as well. And just his defensive performance was really good as well. And just, you know, still carrying a shiner, still carrying on that momentum for the next game, which is tough to do sometimes. So, yeah, I'm going to put it out there. 8.5 man of the match.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I see a lot of people give a man a match again. Stephen says Ethan 6.5, not his best average day. Same as me on that then. And then his rating for Lockyer has gone 7.7, legend, best at both ends. Well, yeah, he is at the moment, isn't he? And then moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Bradley. So obviously he is, you know, getting into things. I do feel, you know, and I've said it, as much as I like the guy, I'm just being real going forward. If we are to go up, you know, I think he's not quite the answer going forward in that sense. But getting the swing of things, that, like I said, you know, he had a few moments in the first half. There was one moment, like I said earlier, where the ball was played to him, and I don't feel it should have been because he did have 2 players on him. You know, and he did nearly score. He did nearly redeem himself, like we briefly mentioned earlier. Obviously, hitting the bar. I'm going to go over 6.5 again.
Yeah, I agree. 6.5. You know, exactly the same as you said. Made a goal line clearance as well. Nearly scored, but it was the jittery play at the back. You can't really. That's his job, isn't it? So that was a bit slightly worrying. Do you know what I mean? But I know that we've got Osho and Burke to come back in the team, and they will definitely be playing. They've earned the right to be in and play in the final, so I'm pretty sure that they will be. Bradley probably knows this as well. Do you know what I mean? And they will be looking at that because you can't have that kind of, because you get punished for them mistakes in the playoffs. You know, we were a bit lucky with it. Do you know what I mean? And as I said to you privately, do you know what I mean? Yeah, you could have scored, you know, and stuff like that, but you don't want to be making the mistakes in the first place, especially with how good our defence actually has been as well. You know, 2 goals from open play in the last 13 games. Both of them, I think Bradley was in defence. So it sounds a bit harsh on that, but I think it's facts. So 6.5.
Yeah, no, exactly. I agree. Lennon, obviously MK Don's fan. He's obviously talking about the game. He did go to it.
Burton were playing like your arch enemies or something. It was ridiculous. Honestly, it's like, you know, when Luton players threw themselves on the run against Blackpool away, Nathan Jones' last away game, whatever it was, or the last time we see him, and that, yeah, it was like that, throwing their bodies on the line and everything. It was like they wanted MK Dons. I know his integrity of the game and that, but they were given that extra sauce, mate. So yeah, they were unlucky, but they're probably one of the favourites to go up. So, you know, have a little bit of a reshuffle because I think they've actually got.
It's like he says there, yeah.
We know the history in that, but at the end of the day, it's still got to try and make a football club, haven't they? But I think they'll be all right next season.
Yeah, I agree. He says they had 31 shots, so it goes back to what you're saying about defensively flipping. Burton were mad on a mad one. Still couldn't score. Don't mind, then we can regroup and try again next season and sign the right players, and can't wait for Wrexham away. I mean, that's actually going to be an all right away day. Let's be real. So there is that. Stephen's rating for Bradley, 6.5. Again, same as me. I feel it is the end of the road exactly. And like we said, we do feel he probably feels that as well. Brilliant guy, you know, been brilliant player for us. You know,
They can play in the Championship definitely for another couple of seasons, 100%. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like this step will be he hasn't got the pace.
Yeah.
And you need
exactly
a bit of pace at that level.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chris says that Don's game was ridiculous amount of clearances off the line. Yeah, it was mad. Obviously, Harry's in the chat. Obviously, Birmingham fan says that's what happens when you have Jonathan Lecco up front. Get off. Obviously, Stephen loving it. Well, mate, obviously I am a Luton fan, but you did offer me to go to that 4-4 draw against Barnsley. I'm gutted I didn't in the end, because I'd have got in for free as well, and that would have been a good game to vlog, but it's one of them. It's one of them. So, yeah. But, yeah, moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Bell. Obviously, he was playing against his former club. You know, he was good. He was good. You know, I've seen a little bit better from him, I'll be honest, but still one of our most consistent players, if not our most consistent player this season. I didn't actually say inconsistent this time by accident. He weren't too bad. Like I said, there was a few misplaced passes. It wasn't awful, though. It wasn't awful. As for a rating for Bell, I'll go over 7.
I'll give him 7.5. I thought he was quite decent. Yeah, a couple passes, but nothing, you know, that bad. He made some good runs forward. He was under pressure as well, playing against his former club. A little, you know, that's always going to be on his mind because he made 99 appearances from them, and they didn't rate him. But I rate him. He's done. It's probably the best season of his career, maybe. And you can see he's you know, he's got a lot of ability and he's hungry. I've said this throughout the season, and he'll definitely adapt to the Premier League. I'll tell you that. So sometimes that happens with players. Do you know what I mean? Right manager. Look at Akpom. You know, so I thought he was all right. I'll give him 7.5.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. And then moving on to the wing backs. Start off with Doherty. Obviously, he did play the corner in for the goal. Again, you know, I don't think it was bad from him. Shout out to him as well. Obviously, he did get goal of the season. I did say at the time, I think it will be up there. If not, he will get it. Obviously, I did put that clip out the other day. What goal that was. The reaction was, I don't know what was better, the goal or the reaction, seriously. But yeah, no, fair play to him for that. And in this game, I don't think he was bad again. You know, he was decent, just being how he has been, really consistent. I'll go over 7.5.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly the same reasons. You know, looking the player that he is, making them runs. You know, always wanting the ball. You know, and you know he's going to do something with it. He's got that ability. Another one could definitely step up to the Premier League. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Stephen's rating for Bell, he's gone with a 7.5. Showed Blackburn what he's about. Yeah, I still think it's mad how they didn't actually, you know, want him really going forward. I know he had, well, I didn't watch it, but from what I've heard, he had a bit of a shaky time there. But still, like, you know, I'm not complaining now. As I said, for me, he's one of our most consistent players, if not our most consistent. And he has a really good bond with the fans as well. I'd probably say the player that, you know, communicates the most with fans and yeah, has that bond is him. So yeah, shout out to Bill. But yeah, obviously moving on to Drame. Again, thought he was decent in this game. Similar to Doherty, really. You know, the consistency's there. So you know of his quality. 7.5 again.
Yeah, exactly the same. You can see that they're just bubbling. They're just at that level. Do you know what I mean? They're just chilling with it. You're not seeing them panic or nothing. Like, this is the strongest Luton squad and togetherness and the way they're playing, but the best that I've ever seen them before in the playoffs, in any playoffs. Tell you, like, yeah, 7.5. And you know, again, going back to the Rob Edwards thing, there's a signing, them astute signings of Drame and the Canberra. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes Nathan Jones didn't like to do loans. He made a big point of it, and I think part of that was because over the years, some of the loans we did have in, half of them was shit, especially in goalkeepers. The best loan that he done was Dewsbury Hall.
Oh yeah.
And but they've obviously looked at it differently. But the 2 loans that they have brought in have been excellent. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to give them their dues for that as well, because they know what they're doing. Like, I'm really pleased.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And like I say, they've just capitalised on what we already had in certain senses with Nathan Jones. But they've just progressed on it even more. And I always say that. So it's one of them. Stephen's rating for Doherty, he's gone 7.6 solid made chances. Yeah, he did make a lot of chances in this game. Obviously, like I said, the corner was obviously headed away, but obviously to Drame, and then obviously played it to Morris. Morris done his business, played it in to Lockyer. Now moving on to the midfield, we'll start off in the Campbell. Like I said, obviously the midfield was different in this game. Obviously, the Campbell was more defensive, of course, like he obviously should be. And then obviously we had 2 midfielders ahead. It wasn't him and someone else, and then one ahead. And yeah, he was brilliant again, solid. The way he wins the ball back sometimes is just absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, going about that Preston game, obviously he was just, getting into the swing of it. But since then, he has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He's always up there for a man of the match contention. And he is up there again for me. He's not quite got it for me, but he's definitely up there. What a player. Be interesting to see what we can do with him next season, obviously, regarding what we do as well. And yeah, he's up there for me, like I said. I'm going to go with an 8.3.
I'll give him an 8. I thought he was excellent again. But again, this is down to the players we can attract now. And he's probably one of the best players we've ever had. If we can keep him, he'll prove that as well. This is the quality that you can start to get, because there is better players. You can get as much out of them as you can. But, again, the shoot signing, he's still got, a lot of gas in the tank. He could play for another couple of seasons. Yeah, Premier League, but he's got that experience as well. So I think it's vital we keep him. But especially if we go up. Maybe if we don't, it'll still be. But if we can keep him, we'll see what happens. But yeah, 8.
Yeah, no, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant again from him. Stephen's rating for Drame, that is his man of the match. He says it was a physical game and he became a man in that. To be fair, a lot of people I saw give him man of the match as well. So that's fair enough. Again, yeah, he was up there for me in this game. There was a lot of players, up there. Probably 4 players for me that I can think of on the top of my head. Obviously, I'll get into my actual one when I get to it. And then his rating from the Camber, it bypassed him loads as they went wide, but when called about does what he does, exactly 7.8. Exactly that, mate. He was good again. And then moving on to the midfielders that are obviously higher. We'll start off with Berry. Obviously, he did have that moment in the game where Travis was trying to, mouth off. You should know about Luke Berry, mate, yeah? Scored a double against you last season at your ground. Don't know if Travis was playing then, but still, Berry obviously, responded to it. Don't know if it was true what people actually said that he apparently said, but either way, it was quite funny, to be honest, if that is the case. But he was all right in the game. No, I don't think he was bad. As for a rating, I'll go 7.5.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty decent, industrious. Enjoyed that. He enjoyed that.
Yeah,
he was all over the place and that. Yeah, he did do nothing special, but he was active a lot in the game, making good passes. Tracking back and stuff like that. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then moving on to the last midfielder, obviously in that starting 11 was obviously Clark. Thought he was decent. Obviously, we know he's getting into the swing of things. I can already tell, right? Obviously, like I said, everyone's going to be a massive part in these playoffs, but I can just tell he's going to be
definitely
even more, especially in that cam role. Even if we go forward and we play these 2 midfielders ahead and then a CDM behind, he's still going to be a massive part of it. I know that for sure. wicked player, as we know. Obviously, it still baffles me how we got him for free and he's that good, for us. And yeah, I thought he was decent in this game. Similar to Berry, really. So I'm going to go with the same rating. I'm going to go with 7.5.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. I thought he looked better in this game than he did in the previous game. He had that run as well. Nice, mazy run. Unlucky not to score. And just looking confident and just getting, he's another one who's on it and a vital player. And will probably affect the playoffs, yeah, definitely. 7.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Stephen's rating for Berry, he's got a 7.3. First start for a while, good as our backup option. He is. And he is one of them players I like having as that option to come on, obviously, because there has been games, last season and this season where he's come on and made a difference. Obviously Millwall was one this season that I can think of. Last season, there's quite a few as well. I can't think from the top of my head, but obviously we know there has been. So yeah, no, definitely. And like I said, even what he done last time out against Blackburn as well, obviously at their ground. So yeah, and then moving on to the two strikers. We'll start off with Elijah. Oh, I really hope he gets the double figures this season. I don't think he's going to. Obviously, he's currently on 7. Obviously, if we go to the final, we've got 4 games left, if you think of it like that. He's in the games, but sometimes you're not seeing him, in the box, like he was a lot last season. That's what I've started to notice. I'm going to go over 7.
I thought he was pretty decent. I'll give him 7.5. I thought he was he always looked hungry on the ball. You could see he's more confident on the ball. But I get what you're saying. Like for them headers and that, which we've been scoring from whatever, he's not really been nowhere to be seen. If that makes sense. But I think that's more a tactical thing. And he is looking stronger and stronger, and that's the main thing for me. He's he can take on certain players more. He's just looking stronger. He's just sort of adapting that part of his game. That's what it seems like. But I thought he was decent, good hold-up play, always putting their defenders under pressure. 7.5.
Yeah, just quickly, to be fair, defensively, I thought he was brilliant in this game. Obviously, he's not a defender, but he was coming. But I've seen him do it a lot, but this game was a standout. What I will give him credit for, do you know what? I'm going to up the rating, actually. I'm going to go with 7.5 because what I did remember defensively when he was coming back, helping out, he done well. He's putting good pressure on their players as well. So yeah, no, I will up that. It's just obviously when it comes to the goal scoring, it's not quite there at the moment. But he's still putting in shifts. He is still putting in shifts. It's not like I think it was the start of this season. Yeah, it was where he wasn't really in games at times. He is in the games. He's just not. Sometimes not in the box, but he's still doing bits. It's not like he's standing around doing nothing, sort of thing, and just waiting for the ball to come to him, sort of things. So, yeah. And then moving on to the last player that started, obviously in the starting 11, obviously Morris. He's my man of the match. Just, obviously brilliant on the goal. Obviously got the assist. His hold-up play was good. And he's a player that, I hope obviously gets second when it comes to the top scorers. Obviously Akpom's quite far ahead. So, yeah, he's my man of the match just. For my rating for Morris, I'll go with 8.7.
Yeah, he was close to being mine. So I'm going to give him an 8. As you said, the assist for the goal was brilliant. His hold-up play was brilliant. Again, he looks better and better every single game. And it's going to be vital, and I think he will end up being, second top goal scorer. 8.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Obviously, he's one goal behind Gyökeres as it stands. So it's all interesting. Stephen's rating for Clark, he's gone 7.5. He is itching. He's always looking to score when back, full match fitness and sharp. Watch out. Exactly, mate. And he's just building up to that, isn't he? And then his rating for Elijah, he says, once double, you can tell he is still dangerous. Yeah, exactly. I love him to score playoff winner. Yeah, that would be brilliant. Whoever scores, if that is the case, that would be brilliant. You'd instantly become a legend, really. Let's be honest. But obviously, if he done it, that'd be brilliant. In that sense. And then moving on, two players that come on. Like I said, we've done all the changes we can, which is obviously 5. Ruddock. We'll start off with Ruddock. Come on, put in a shift. As we go more onto the games, probably expect him to start in the playoff games, to be honest. Well, it depends how we play in midfield. But if we play what we usually play with 2, ones behind, I'd probably say it'd be him and the Nakamba. And yeah, he was decent. Come on, put in a shift, So I'm going to go with a 7.5.
I'll just give him 7. I thought he was decent. Just again, I think we've protected him a little bit, and you're right. He probably will feature in the semi-finals and stuff. So I'll just give him a 7.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Stephen's rating for Morris. He says 7.9. A good solid game, another assist, exactly. Then moving on to the next player, Fred. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what Stephen says for Fred. But he come on, obviously put in a shift. Another player to put in a shift. Good to see him get minutes under the belt. And yeah, he done all right. Didn't do anything bad. He was actually trying to cause some stuff on that right hand side. So yeah, as for a rating, I'll go with a 7 for Fred.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. Looked good defensively when he needed to be. Switched on with the instructions that he's told to do, going forward when he can. Do you know what I mean? In the limited time that he's getting, I thought he was decent. 7.
Yeah, no, exactly. Stephen's rating for Ruddock. He says Mapanzu just to run out, keep him sharp. Exactly that. 6.5. And then obviously moving on to the next player, Campbell. Again, come on, put in a shift. Obviously, come on. Just over 15 minutes left. Again, I'm just going to go with another 7.
I'll just give him 6.5.
There you go, straight like that. Freeman, come on. Like I said, it did look like he come on up front. He did come on from Morris. Fair play to him when he has come on recently. He done. There was one moment in the game, actually, where I think he earned us a corner and he had like 2 players on him towards the end of it. Or he done well either way. There was 2 players at him and he done well against them. Like I say, when he has been coming on recently, he's been playing in all sorts of positions and just helping the team really. So for me, I'm going to go with a 7 again.
6.5. I thought he was quite effective. I'm always watching him because I remember him early on. Obviously, just not passing it when he's releasing the ball when he needs to and putting situations in trouble. 6.5.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then moving on to the last sub, again, putting a shift. Potts, good to see him back as another option. Obviously, he has had games this season where he has been really good. Obviously, when he got that injury against Blackpool, for example, we were gutted because how well he was playing. So good to see him back, especially going into these playoff games as another option. Like I say, I don't think he'll start. And again, similar to Bradley, I'll be honest, I think if we are to progress, not quite the answer. But for now, he's a good player to have, good option. Come on in left centre-back. And then obviously Bell went up to left wing-back. And yeah, he just put in a shift again. So I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Yeah, same. For it. He was decent. He didn't look jittery when he come on and just done what he needed to do. 6.5.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then let's go through Stevens. And then obviously we'll recap that quickly. He said, Fred, he looks okay. It's just something about him. It looks awkward at times, but 6. Fair enough. Mr. Pitbull, another run out, 6.5. Exactly that. And his rating for Freeman, another one I feel need a few more minutes to get sharp. I'd agree. And the thing about Freeman as well, it goes back to what my dad said, where we are starting to look at him a little bit more. Well, me and my dad are anyway. I don't know if anyone else is, because like he said at the start of the season, he was trying to do too much in games. He was taking them extra touches and sometimes just need to release it or just go for a pop shot, etc. So, he's not really doing that now. Which is good to see. So we will see with that. And then his rating for Potts, he says 6. Welcome back for Potts. Yeah, no, exactly, mate. Exactly that. So yeah, that is that. But obviously, man of the matches. Obviously, I give it to Morris. And yeah, it was tight. So like I said, for me, I had a lot of players up there. I had Morris, I had Lockyer, I had Nakamba. And to be honest, as much as I give him a bit of a lower rating, I did have Elijah up there as well because he was good defensively, coming back and just putting in that effort, helping out the team. So I did have him up there as well. So I had 4 players up there. But like I said, overall, I'll take the point considering they needed to not lose. It was at their ground. They are a decent team. They are a decent team as well. We're still unbeaten. We're still unbeaten. And, like I said, based on the end of that game, we could have lost. That Schmodic's chance, very unlucky. So overall, I'll take it. You've got to look at it as well. Like I said earlier, third's guaranteed. We confirmed the playoff spot a while ago, obviously beating Reading. Drawing to Reading. So it's one of them. But yeah, your man of the match was Lockyer, wasn't it, Dad? Yeah. So any final thoughts you'd like to say on the Blackburn game?
Nah, just it. It's done now. It's kind of, everyone's anticipating, obviously, have, a good game tomorrow, and then that's when the business starts. So
yeah, exactly that. Lewis will be on very shortly by the sound of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit of insight going into this game, and then hopefully he will be on soon to obviously preview the final league game for us, and obviously for Hull anyway. So obviously we sit third, like I said, third's guaranteed, can't finish higher or lower. Hull, as for them, they're 14th. Now, if they did beat us, they could go. Oh no, they couldn't actually. They'd be on the same points as Watford, but Hull's goal difference compared to Watford is not great. The highest they can finish is literally where they are, to be honest, which is 14th. And then obviously, depending on other results, the lowest they could go is only 15th. So it's only one place lower. Obviously the game earlier on in the season, obviously we did win 2-0. I remember it, Friday night game. Lansbury obviously scored that goal. It's a goal that was. I saw it earlier again. And it was just, it was a dominant display. So it's an interesting one. Bit of insight going into it. Luton Town have won their last 4 league games against Hull City since a 3-0 defeat back in September 2019. I can't even remember that. Not sure if you can, Dad. Hull have won 3 of their last 4 league visits to Luton Town, but did lose 1-0 last season under Grant McCann. Yeah, I remember that. Obviously, we went to that game. And they were on some poor run, Hull then. I think it was double figures of losses or games. No, I don't think it losses actually, but just not winning games. It was something ridiculous. So it's one of them. Obviously, I think Elijah scored that game. I want to say Fred got the assist as well, from what I can remember. Luton have won their final Football League match in 6 of the last 8 seasons, drawing 1, losing 1. All 6 of those wins coming on home soil. Obviously, our game last season, again, we went to that one, Dad. Obviously, that was against Reading. See, absolute scenes when we scored that goal. Bit of a weird goal, a goal you're not going to see every day, but it was good because obviously we know what it meant as well. And then another one, Hull have won their final league game in just one of the last 18 seasons, drawing 7, losing 10. A 5-1 win over Rotherham in 2015-16 away from home. They've not ended their campaign with a win since 1994-95 against Blackpool. And then last one, Hull City are winless in their last 9 away league matches, drawing 5, losing 4. Since going 7 away games unbeaten between October and January. And in that was winning 5 and drawing 2. So it's interesting. A lot of stats there favour us more when it comes to that. What Rob Edwards has said going into it, he did do his post-match quite early. And I do think it's because, obviously it's one where we still want to keep the momentum, but at the same time, there's nothing to really play for in that sense. So I think they just got it done with early. But yeah, this is what he had to say about it and a bit more about the game. So Luton Town's final game before the Championship playoff campaign is in front of their home support against Hull City, as we know. The Hatters are 13 games without defeat after claiming a point away at Blackburn last week, while Hull City will look to finish the season in good form after losing just one of their last 8 games. Rob Edwards, here we go. So Liam, obviously their manager, has done a very good job and is starting to put his own stamp on things from that I see. A real clear identity. They're moving in a very promising direction. They'll have a real positive mood around. They want to finish the season strongly and end it on a high and try and take that into next season. So I think it's been very good for him. Really impressive with what he's done with his staff and the players. And with another transfer window, I think they have a really strong outfit next season. And then a bit more about Hull. They've steadily steered away from the relegation zone as the season has gone on after the appointment of Liam. And funny enough, actually, I've just remembered their game against us on that Friday night is when they sat their manager during the day, I think. Their previous one, wasn't it? So, yeah, that was interesting at that time. I remember that. The Tigers are currently 14th, like I said. 13 points clear of already relegated Reading. Eustaban, I can never say his name, but their striker is the top scorer for the Tigers this season. The Colombian forward missed the last month due to injury, but scored 13 goals this term, so still decent. 28-year-old Ozan Tufan has been chipping in with the goals during Eustaban's absence. Excuse me. The Turkish international was netted 3 times since Eustaban's injury, including 2 penalties. See, like I said, last time we played, we won 2-0. Obviously, they scored an own goal in that game as well. That's weird, because what I've noticed, when we get a lot of 2-0 wins away from home, right, the team usually scores an own goal. You know, I think of the Reading game as well last season. There was an own goal there as well. So that's that. And then, obviously, a bit about it. Obviously, we sold out, so big up to everyone that obviously goes. The officials, James Linington, I think so he says his name. He last took charge of a Hatters game when we hosted Sunderland back in October, the 1-1 draw. He's taken charge of 30 games this season, 26 of which were in the Championship, adding out 110 yellow cards and 4 red cards. Can't really remember the performance from the referee in that game against Sunderland, to be honest. See, I remember the away game, but the home one, I don't really remember it. So I don't think he was that bad. But yeah, after saying all of that, Dad, how are you feeling going into this one?
Just obviously confident. Got to be. Depends what Hull turn up, because they will be half on the beach because they really got anything to play for. Yeah, I can see them wanting to end it season on a high and that, but I just feel like if we score first, we'll just control it from there. So, you know, but I'm feeling quite confident. I can't see us just suddenly flopping and getting a good idea and a big wake up call. I can't see that. It'd be funny if that did happen. Hold me to it, but I just can't see it. So I'm feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, no, fair enough. How am I feeling going into
home record a little bit? It's not too great.
Well, I did actually look. It was obviously, we know it was the start of the season where it's so poor. But you know, the last 5 we've actually won every single game at home.
Yeah, against Hull, I mean, right.
Oh right, yeah, no, definitely. So it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. Stephen says that you're not going. I'm still not sure, mate. I'm still not sure. I'll find out tonight. I'll literally find out tonight. And then I'll probably put something out on the community post so you lot know. But yeah, it's one of them. Let's go through some comments. I thought you had Cody up there as well. Yep, so I did, sorry. So that's 5 players I had up there for man of the match. Like I said, Lockyer, Adebayo, as much as I did put him in the lower rating to the others. Morris, how many is that? 3, Cody and Nakamba. They were the 5 I had up there. So, yeah, there we go with that. Chris says, Rossini are going to be brilliant manager. I had Derby to win League One start of the season. Okay, he was only interim. There, it's the perfect job for him as at Hull. He knows the club. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he a player for Hull as well? Which is, you know, another reason they brought him in that sense. But yeah, what I've noticed about them when I have watched them is they are a lot tighter defensively, and it's harder than it was previously to break them down. That's what I've noticed in their games. EFL knowledge is incredible, knows the leagues and has abilities to be a brilliant manager, which I think he will. I really like the man. Yeah, from what I've seen, he's good. He is good. Whole Fenerbahce City FC. Oh dear, that's a good one. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised either, to be honest, mate. I think they can just capitalise on what they've done. So we will see. We will see. Stephen's saying good memory. Yeah, my memory is all right when it comes to football, to be fair. I remember a lot of games just like that sometimes. So it's one of them. But how am I feeling going into it? Like I said, I'm confident in a sense. Obviously, it's one of them where I expect it to be harder to break them down because, like I said, they are better defensively under their new manager. I still think we can definitely break them down, especially likes of Morris and that 100%. But I expect it to be, even though it was tight when they last come to Kenilworth Road, the momentum they had was poor in that game. They have a little bit of better momentum. Want to end it on a high, like I said. So it's one of them, but just the way we've been, this unbeaten run, 13 games. I'm confident. Like I said, we won our last 5 at home. And I think defensively we're either the best team when it comes to clean sheets or we're joint with Burnley. I think so. It's one of them, really. It's one of them where I'm confident. So we will see, really. We will see. But what we'll do is we will get into a lineup prediction. So what I think really going into this one is I still think obviously we want to keep the momentum. So you still will see a lot of main starters play. I think we might change it up a little bit. What do I reckon? Do I reckon we will? Am I going to go with formation wise? Am I thinking we might go with what we went with against Blackburn, where it's more so 1 CDM and then 2 ahead? Or it's interesting. It's interesting. I would probably just go with what we have previously, to be honest. I think. Big up Hanno in the chat. I can see that he's in there. Let me just share my screen for that. He wants to do it. What do you reckon we'll go with formation-wise while we're waiting, Dad?
Yeah, it's quite interesting we've done that, but I don't know if that's sort of something we might be looking in to do in the playoffs against certain teams if we need to, or it's because he knew he was going to substitute certain player. I'm not sure, but I think we'll go back to normal, especially at home.
Yeah. I'll just stick with the same. So obviously in goal, Ethan, of course. Oh, coming up. There we go. There he is. Back 3. Now, I heard Rob Edwards say Burke and Osho are closer. If not, they'll be available because he did say they both trained going into this game with the first 11. It's not like they've done any individual or anything. They trained with the first 11. So I reckon they'll be back in for this game. I expect them to get a run out if they're not, starting. I'll go with. I'll go with what it has been. I'll go with what it has been recently. So obviously Lockyer on the right side. I'd still say Bradley, probably, and then obviously I would go Bell on the left. Like I say, I do think, especially if they're on the bench, they will get a run out. In regards to Osho and Burke. Right wing back, got to be Dre May, isn't it? On loan. Left wing back, Doherty. So that's that. Midfield, I reckon it will be. I reckon in midfield. So we'll just get Nakamba out of the way. You know it already most likely will be him, especially being on loan. The right side, the left side, sorry, this is where it's interesting for me. You could go Campbell, could go Ruddock, could even go Berry again. I could potentially see that. I will probably go with Campbell. Please say Campbell. And ahead, I'll go Clark. Just getting him into the minutes really again, sort of thing. And then up front, I would go. I reckon it will still be Morris due to the keep the momentum going, confidence, and try and get second when it comes to goal scorers. And I'd go Elijah. I think I would. Yeah, I think I would go Elijah. Any changes you'd make to that, Dad?
Yeah, I feel that there's probably going to be more changes than we expect. I'm thinking Lockie will be rested. I'm thinking Osho will start. Bradley. I think Bell will be rested. So I'll be banging Potts there. Doughty and Drayman, I think they'll start, but they'll get substituted later on. Midfield, Nakamba will start. The same thing. Clark will definitely start up top because he needs that. I think Berry will start again as well.
Yeah, I was thinking that potentially.
Up front, I think Morris will I think Elijah might start on that side.
Yeah.
And, the lad from Peterborough.
Taylor, you reckon?
I think Taylor might get a start as well.
I could see that, because it's one of them. It goes back to what I said earlier, where everyone's going to play a part, in these playoffs. And to be fair, when he come on against Middlesbrough, I thought he was excellent. He's very unlucky not to score. Obviously, I haven't seen too much of him, so it'd be good. It'd be good, man, to see that. And like I say, it probably is going to be more rotation than what I've said. There is a few that I was saying, like Berry. I could see him starting in midfield. I could see, like you say, Osho or Burke. A lot of these players, I expect them to not be on for as long as they usually are due to the rotation. Third guaranteed, can't finish higher, can't finish lower, sort of thing. And it's one of them where you want everyone, as many players to get minutes as possible, really, isn't it? So, yeah, I could see it, to be fair. I could see a lot more rotation. That's for sure. Let's go through some comments. Hanno says, yeah, good, of course. Excited to see another season of Premier League football for Chelsea. Well, you got your 40 points, didn't you? You needed against Bournemouth. Bournemouth did let me down, though. When it was 1-1, they equalised. I was thinking, yeah, go on and win this game now. Nope, don't know what happened in that last 10 minutes. Jackie says, hi, Ty and Daz. Agreed with all said tonight. I think we'll make a few changes, so it's hard to predict a score. It is, isn't it? It is. I did struggle a little bit with this one. I understand, mate. I totally understand. Stephen's lineup. Big up yourself for doing it. He's got Ethan in goal. Potts, Osho, Lockyer. Yeah, could see that. Obviously, if that was the case for me, obviously Potts would be on the left, in my opinion. I'd put him there. I'd put Lockyer in the middle, obviously Osho on the right. Drame, Berry, Clark, Lansbury, Freeman. So is that potentially Clark in right wing back, or is that just a four in midfield? Let me know. And then Adebayo and Taylor. Yeah, again, I could see that strike partnership, to be fair. But yeah, it's one of them. Chris says, I have to go, lads. Take care. Great stream as always. My prediction, 2-0 Luton. Luton will want to go into playoffs on back of a win. Keep unbeaten. Run going 2. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. So it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one, that's for sure. But yeah, I just realised I've kept the whole time. I kept the player ratings for Blackburn on. But yeah, it is that time, Dad. We'll get into it now. Score predictions and goal scorers. How do you see our final game in the league going this season?
I just think we'll score quite early, first 15 minutes, and then just kind of control it from there. I'm going to go with a 2-0 Luton win.
Same as Chris.
Goal scorers. I'm going to go with Clark and Doughty.
Nice, that'll be interesting. Big up Spencer. Yeah, I just saw that, mate. I just saw that. It come up. West Ham beat Man United. So Man United have lost back-to-back 1-0 games.
Wow.
I did have a feeling going into it, West Ham were going to get some sort of result. I did say a 2-2 draw. I just had that feeling. London Stadium, it can be a difficult place to go. We know United have capabilities of dropping points as well. Like the manner they lost the other day to Brighton, conceded a penalty right at the end. It's just mad. Top 4 could be on for Liverpool, Spencer, mate. It could be on. The only thing, makes me feel they might not is the games in hand. But if these teams are dropping points, Newcastle losing today, United, Liverpool currently 6 out of 6. They could do it. And Spencer's prediction, he's gone 2-1 to Luton. Yeah, no, fair enough. That would be, I'll take that. Clark, free roll on that right. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I get what you're saying. So as a right wing back, but then he's free. Yeah, no, I could see that. Exactly, mate. Exactly that. It's all interesting. We will see. Yeah, exactly. We will see. My score prediction. How do I see it going? Like I said, I expect Hull to, make it tight defensively. Like I said, since Liam's come in, they've been a lot better defensively. They are going to want to try and end it on a high, obviously, like I mentioned earlier. But so are we, going into these playoff games, having the momentum. Like I said, we won our last 5 out of 5 at home. So I'm going to go with a 1-0, classic 1-0 to Luton. Same as last year, actually, on the final day. My goal scorer, I'm going Morris to be on the safe side. Even though he might not start, I think at the same time he probably will, because he's chasing second when it comes to goal scorers. Just keep his confidence going, really, in that sense. So, yeah, I'm going with a 1-0 to in that one. So, yeah, there's that. Hammer's staying up. Let me just have a quick look at their points. Have they got the 40 points mark now then? Let's have a look. So have a quick look at that. We'll see. That will be happy if that's the case. 37, but there is a gap. They are 7 points clear of Leicester, who are below them. So, yeah, it's one of them. It is one of them. But yeah, they're pretty much safe. And I had a look at the Premier League fixtures. Leeds got some difficult games coming up. So I think they're down. I think Southampton are more than likely down. They've got to realistically win all their games, which just can't see happening. So it's all interesting there. So that is that. But any final things you'd like to say, Dad? I'm going to bring Lewis on, but obviously if that is the case, obviously you can jump off if you want.
Yeah, I'll let you crack on. But yeah, big up Lewis anyway. Yeah, just enjoy the games. It's good. It's a bit of a kind of not party atmosphere, but it's going to be a good home game. Just enjoy it, and everyone's got that in the back of their mind anyway. So they're just going to be looking for players not to get injured. It's going to be a bit of a friendly game, so anything could potentially happen. But just enjoy it, and let's just get it over and done with, kind of thing. That's what it's like for me now. And let's move on to the serious stuff. But yeah,
no, absolutely. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, big up yourself, Dad. Big up yourself for obviously coming on. Obviously, we have got more games, but just like to say thanks for coming on. Obviously, people love your opinions and that, so big up yourself for that. Obviously, we'll be,
back.
obviously doing back again for obviously the Hatter Show, obviously playoff games, And obviously, if we do get to the final, we will 100% be going. Me and you, for sure.
Just for, I just want to, I think we'll end up playing Coventry.
I agree. Quick, all right. Before you go, quick predictions, and I'll let Lewis in. As well. Your quick predictions for the games tomorrow regarding playoffs: Middlesbrough, Coventry, and Millwall, Blackburn.
I think Middlesbrough will beat Coventry because they need to, and I think Millwall will beat Blackburn.
Yeah, I agree. I think Millwall, like I said, my predictions, I've gone 2-1 Millwall against Blackburn, and then Middlesbrough, Coventry. I've gone 1-1. I've gone 1-1 for that one. So, yeah, it's all interesting. And I'm having a mare today. I've just realised I kept the Blackburn ground in the background as well, not our beautiful Kenilworth Road. So it's just getting even better and better. So, yeah, no, you think it'll be Coventry as well. So I'm guessing in the West Brom games, because obviously they need to win and hope others don't. You don't think they'll win their games?
I think they've got a chance, but I just feel that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, I could see that. That's exactly what we reckon. The same. We both reckon Coventry is who we'll have, and then Middlesbrough, Millwall. So yeah, that's all interesting. But yeah, big up to Lewis. Obviously, here he is. How are you, mate? How are you?
Fuming. But yeah.
Other than that, he's all right.
Just travelled up to the North East to watch Newcastle be absolutely shit.
Oh dear. But yeah, let's talk about Hull. Briefly talk to me about your last game. Obviously, you drew to Swansea.
I'm trying to remember it. Yeah, we probably deserved to win. I won't lie. I think we had plenty of chances over the course of the game where we probably should have took it and whatnot. Their goal came. I wouldn't say exactly poor, it was a decent little finish. Yeah, I think we probably overall deserved to get. I think. I could say about numerous of our games over Black I've run in where we got draws and probably deserved maybe more than a draw. Maybe perhaps we put more up there. Not to the extent where it could have gone down to tomorrow, behind from where we are. But overall, I'll take the season we've had, but no, I think we probably deserved to win last weekend. But I'll take a draw against Swansea because they are a decent little team.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate, absolutely. Obviously, we've dropped our score predictions for it. Obviously, my dad went 2-0. I went 1-0 Luton. Your lineup that you would go with going into this one for Hull?
It's hard to say because he has said I think his plan is to obviously try and go as long as he possibly can, but then also put some not surprises, but like people who haven't maybe played as much this season who probably will be leaving in the summer. Just to give them a little bit of a run out, or maybe just bench them and go from there. But I'd personally go with obviously Dollar in goal, top keeper, Elder left back, Greaves and Jones at centre backs with Coyle at right back. I'd go with the midfield three of Surrey, Slater, and Adama. I'd go with Harry Vaughan on the left, Ozan Tufan on the right, and then Ali Samish up front.
Fair enough.
No, hang on.
Oh,
I said Tufan twice there. Adama in the middle, Tufan on the right, and then Ali up front.
Yeah, no, fair enough, mate. And then your score prediction and your scorer for Hull, if you've obviously gone with a goal scored for Hull.
Yeah, so 2-1 Luton. And I've been saying for a week that it hasn't happened yet, but I really hope it happens tonight if he plays, which I hope he does, because I think he's a fantastic little player who's hopefully, he'll stick around this season, definitely, who hopefully will become like a star for the next few years, and I want to see him get on before about 5 o'clock tomorrow. Whether he will or not, I don't know, but he deserves on how he's been playing, especially considering this is his first. I think he's led about 5 games, but he's been fantastic in near enough every single one of them. I want to see Harry Vaughan get one, but if I'm being probably realistic, I don't know. I'm going to say Vaughan. Harry Vaughan.
Fair enough. You never know. You never know.
And then for you, let's just chuck it in. You
Don't
know
have
what?
to go last, but if you want to.
Tom Lockyer. It's written in the stars, isn't it?
Oh, that would be brilliant, mate, if he does.
And Adebayo.
Yeah, you reckon he'll score again? Yeah, I hope.
He always does. He always does score against us.
Yeah, he does do all right. To be fair, he does do all right. And like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. If that is the case, hopefully, because I do want him to get double figures this season. He's currently on 7. Obviously, he needs 3 more goals. See, if we do get to the final, it's 4 more games. If you think of it like that. So hopefully, we will see though. We will see. Let's go through some comments. Big up, Daz. Much love, says Stephen. So big up yourself for that. Oh, for God's sake, Harry's saying, "Where's your Sunderland shirt?"
Up my arse.
Oh dear. Oh my God, Stephen. Hull should be sponsored by Turkish Airlines or Terry Turkish Delight.
If it's Turkish Delight, I'm never buying a Hull City shirt again. Because fuck me, that thing is absolutely disgusting. We are sponsored by Corridor Airlines, which is our away shirt is sponsored by Corridor Airlines, which is a Turkish airline brand.
Yeah, and you will see that tomorrow.
No, wait, no, all of us. Yeah, we are sponsored by a Turkish airline actually.
Yeah, no, you are. Yeah, no, yeah. Very honest, Lewis. Yep, exactly. He's saying it how it is. That's why I got him on.
I don't expect anything. It depends. I think obviously you can't fight for any more than what you've got already.
Yeah.
We could probably go up a few places, but I don't really know what the table would look like. And plus, it means actually enough all our season.
You probably. I had a look earlier. You'd stay literally where you are unless you absolutely bubble us, because your goal difference compared to Watford, unfortunately, is not great. Because if you finished above them, that would have been even something else to go on about to them.
Well, yeah, I've got to finish a bit. Yeah, but it is what it is. So like I said, if you offered me a season without the season before the season started, I would have took 100%. And if I'm being realistic here, if we have the summer that we want to have, and we bring the likes of Darlow back and a few other reasonable names in, because we'll definitely go for a left back now because Elder's leaving. That was confirmed yesterday. He's leaving on for free. So if we bring maybe another goal scorer in and maybe like another midfielder that can create a bit more, and then maybe like a bit more experienced centre back or something like that. I don't understand why, if we keep the main core of our squad, I can't see why we can't be up there next season for maybe pushing playoffs.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Someone did say earlier, I can't remember who it was, but they did say that it wouldn't be surprised if you're up there next season. I think it was Chris, actually.
I can't see being up there, especially if we stick with Liam and get the players Liam want. Because under Liam, we have been so much better defensively.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying earlier.
We've had a blooper against Burnley, but everyone's had a blooper against Burnley this season.
Exactly.
And then obviously that 5-minute madness against Middlesbrough. But apart from that,
scored the most goals in the league, didn't they? So
I don't know. And then apart from that, we've been okay. So I'm not going to say you battle, and I'm not going to say, I don't think it'll be. I'm not going to say it'll be super, super tight, but it'll be an interesting game where we'll both have opportunities, because as much as you haven't conceded many, you've still let us through, let teams through you a bit, and then obviously it's coming down to Ethan and whatnot.
especially as Sonny Bradley at the back. I'll be honest.
Like I said, not under Sean, under Liam, we haven't. I think if I'm correct in thinking, we've conceded something like, I don't know, we're one of the best defensive since he come in.
I saw something.
I think in terms of since he's come in, I think our form is something super like. I don't know. It's quite high because we've only lost like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 games. I think.
Yeah, it's not many.
We haven't lost many because he's improved us so much. And I think if we can, like I say, if we stick with him through the summer and get the place he wants, and I can't see any reason why we can't be up there, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. No, I think you got a good opportunity to be up there as well. And, Chris was proper bigging up Liam earlier. So they're going to be brilliant manager. He had Derby to win League One start of the season. Okay, he was only interim. There, it's the perfect job for him at Hull. He knows the club. Yeah, exactly. Former player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. That also helps. And I mean, obviously every manager wants to work the club that you manage, and of course you do. Liam has an extra bit of connection with the club. Obviously, he's a player. Obviously, he's nan from Hull, and unfortunately, he passed away, I think, a few years ago. So she wants to obviously do that for him, for her as well, at the club. And yeah, like I say, as of now, I can only see it's one way going, and that's up the table, and hopefully, we'll be up there next season and see what happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Chris also said earlier, his EFL knowledge is incredible, knows the leagues and has abilities to be a brilliant manager, which I think he really will be, like the man. Yeah. From what I've seen of Hull, obviously I don't watch him week in, week out, but what I've seen, I was saying it earlier, you're a lot better defensively, so it's not going to be easy to break you down. Yeah. And it's not going to be like last season in the sense with the game at Kenilworth Road where obviously, your momentum going into that game was poor. How many games was it without a defeat? It was something ridiculous.
I think it was something. I think it was in the middle of that 11-game loss streak, something stupid like that.
Yeah. It was something like that. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be different in that.
It was very toxic on the fan base as well and everything like that because it was trying to not fit for the shirt and everything. And
yeah,
that was a great time. That was a great time.
Yeah.
I say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I remember going to it. But yeah, I think that's everything. Obviously, Lewis, I know you're going to the game tomorrow, so obviously safe travels to you. I'm still not sure if I am. Like I said, I'll let you lot know tomorrow. I'll obviously put it on the community post, or if I know tonight, I'll put it out on the community post tonight. Yeah. But Lewis, thank you for coming on, mate.
Even at 9:30 in the morning, can't bloody wait. 9:30 in the morning, get back about 10 o'clock. Wobblers was ridiculous like that.
Yeah. The joys of away days, eh? But yeah, no, like I said, mate, thanks for coming on. Obviously, I know you went to watch Newcastle earlier with your family and that, so big up for coming on for that. Let the people know where they can find you. Obviously, majority of people will know, but to the people that don't,
yeah, find Family Sports on YouTube. That's really it. Expect maybe a review sort of thing from this game. Likelihood on my channel, either maybe tomorrow night, depending on what time we get home, or Tuesday night, or something along the lines of that. But we'll hopefully, if obviously try to slip to it, and he doesn't push you out when we. But no, I'm not.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Hanno, clip that up, yeah.
No. I stopped myself because it what happened. To be fair, it won't happen. But no, we'll probably be doing something for after this game in terms of a review or something, and then I don't really know what I'm gonna be doing from them because life's dead. In other words, really, because there's nothing really. There's a bit of Premier League, but I don't really know if it's gonna be after Premier League.
Maybe do a playoff watch along like you did last season potentially.
Maybe it depends when it is. Because obviously, I'm away this weekend.
Again,
of course I am.
Oh,
and if you know me well, you know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah, that's true. Poland.
Of
Oh,
course.
am I wrong? No, I'm right.
Of course I am.
But yeah, no, that is that. That is where we're going to wrap up. So yeah, like I said, thanks for Lewis for coming on. Like I said, we will do a review at some point, and I'll jump on that. Obviously, I'll put it on the community post, promote it on the socials as well, so you lot know when it is. Obviously, we'll
Like
discuss.
I say, just don't push the if you lose, Tyler.
No,
Or
win,
should I
lose
say,
or draw, mate.
or should I say,
I'm not one
worst
of
when we
these.
lose. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to
No,
say that.
win, lose or draw, mate. I'm there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm there. I've seen some heavy crap recently. You know, like that 4-0 Watford defeat. I got match reaction out straight away, and that was our rivals. You know, so don't worry about that. I'll be there. Don't you worry about that.
No, I'm just messing with you. Not like I expect you. Not like I really expect us to win anyway. I won't lie, but it'll be nice to. It'll be nice to.
Yeah, we'll get a
Of course
bit.
it will be. It'll be nice to. It would just be nice to dig into the next door neighbours on the way out.
Oh dear. But yeah, no, big up. Obviously, everyone's saying take care. The current like count is on. Let me just have a look before we wrap up. It is on 11 likes. So big up to yourselves for that. As for new subscribers, not any today. Like I said, I'm not sure if I'm going tomorrow. Yeah, I'll let you know.
I'm going to jump
yeah,
Tyler,
obviously, big up. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. I'm going
Right,
to wrap up anyway.
I'll miss you in a bit.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Big
I'll
up
do
yourself
that
for coming on.
In a bit.
See you in a bit, mate. But yeah, big up to Lewis for that. But yeah, don't forget to smash a like. Obviously, if you haven't already, do subscribe to the channel if you are new. Obviously, I know a lot of people watching these back on playback, so smash a like there if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel, like I said, turn on the notification bell. If you want to follow me across any of my socials, obviously links to them are in the description. Subscribe to my other channel as well, T-Boys TV Extra. And yeah, that is where we're going to wrap up episode 101 of The Hatter Show. So, yeah, big up yourselves. Stay safe. Take care. And peace.